Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to you. Welcome to Dekemp at 6, the fifth connecting flight. My name is Gaius Bala, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. Once again, you're welcome to the program. And before we start proper, kindly indicate in the chat box your energy level. Your energy level is 0%, kindly indicate. If it's 10%, kindly indicate. In the chat box, you can indicate your energy level as you come in, as we start. So we know how to gauge your energy this day. Kindly in the chat box, just gauge your energy level from a scale of 0 to 100%. Oh, 100%, Shoma. That's energy, 100% energy level. Gauge your energy level in the chat box. 95%. Where is the 5%? Okay. So we start by gauging energy level. What is your energy level today? How excited are you about today's event? Energy level 95%, 100%. I want to see another 100% energy level. Okay, nobody's responding again. 95%, 100%, 110% energy level from Olabisi. Okay, that's very nice. Really, it's nice to see that we are having a very high energy level today. And 90% energy level. Wow, great, 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 great. There's no energy level less than 50. So yeah, I think we are in for today's value-packed session. So yeah, today we are going to be having a blast, and I hope that you stay tuned and enjoying what we have to offer. Today our speaker is already here, and before we start, we are going to do a lot just to ensure that we put everything all set for today's event. So yes, once again, welcome. And my name is Gaius Bala, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. So, well, before we proceed to today's event, I think it's very important that we have a wrap, more like a follow-up of what we have been doing lately. So we're going to have a game, more like a 2-minute game. And I'll just give a quote and you tell me who actually said that quote. If you are ready for that, kindly indicate in the chat box. I'll make a post. I'll just tell you a quote and you tell me who actually made that post. So, okay. Okay, ready. Okay. So the first quote is, you might be building, but without the right connection, you will not scale. Who said that? You might be building, but without the right connection, you won't scale. Yo, great. Great. Anybody else has another opinion? Oh, great. All right. So that's Ahmed Kayode Alabi said that yesterday. So reskill for relevance, incorporate new trends into your brand. Who said that? Reskill for relevance, incorporate new trends into your brand. Ahmed, incorporate new trends into your brand. France. Oh, great. F. Young actually said that. Yes. So, authority is a responsibility, not ownership. Authority is a responsibility, not ownership. Authority is a responsibility, not ownership. Okay, authority is responsibility, not ownership. Oh, Jonathan. That was the first speaker that actually gave that, right? So yeah, Jonathan, correct. So yes, thank you very much for your response. And before we start the event proper, we're going to give a minute for the Dekemp anthem. Okay, let me just share my screen and give a minute for the Dekemp anthem.
Gaius, there is no volume.
Guys, there's no volume. I think you can stop your screen and reshare again, then you enable sound when you want to share.
Okay. Can you share?
It's still not coming up. Oh, I think I should share from my hand
Okay,
because of
please.
time. Is that okay?
Okay.
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 Any issue?
Okay, he's sharing from his end.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's
A great Dekemp is a great family of trust, love, and excellence, of oneness, togetherness, in all that we do. We aim to achieve great success through process when I learn to make our works much more better. Yes, process over results. Advise resourceful people who support each other, knowing that till we all win, we are work in progress. Yes, we will achieve great success. That's what made Kelechi, who founded this noble group. Lord, please make us all winners.
oh great. Make us all winners. Sorry for the glitch, actually. So for the speaker's bio, the next agenda. But before then, we're going to give room for the thriller of this Dekemp at 6.
His sound is not coming up yet.
Welcome to PhD. The theme of this year, Roots of the Result, building youth power through consistent action. You do not want to miss this, as this will be filled with insight, new strategies, and great empowerment. See you there. Dekemp at 6.
Okay. Thank you very much. Dekemp at 6, it's been a journey, and that's why we are here to celebrate all that we have achieved as a team. We're here to celebrate what it means to celebrate process over result, and also to congratulate each other as we experience exploits of result. And right about now, we're going to be inviting our speaker for today's event, and it's been really an honor. We had him waiting for us, packed loads with values, even before we started the event proper. So before we start, we're going to just give more like a brief speaker's recitation of Mr. Ashim Joshi as he takes us today. So right about now, I'm going to share the recitation for the speaker of today's event.
Hour is set. The moment we've been waiting for.
Sorry about that.
At 6. The speaker of today is an energy system expert who advocates energy and social justice by promoting equitable access to clean, reliable energy as a driver of his inclusive growth. Drawing from his research at the University of Oxford and work on Nepal's Greenfield program and his experience at the IAEA, he champions circular economy solutions, partnerships, and knowledge sharing to advance the sustainable development goals. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the speaker tonight, Ashim Joshi.
A round of applause for our speaker today. A round of applause for our speaker. You can put your emoji in the chat box, your emoji based on your energy level today. So the next 30 minutes will be for our speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashim Joshi. Thank you very much for joining us today. Can you hear me, Mr. Ashim?
Okay, let me make Mr. Hashim a quote. But I don't know the account he's joining with. So okay, yeah, I think I found it. Yeah, so you have the mic now.
Yeah.
So.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, good evening. It's already mid of the night in Nepal. It's already 1 a.m. So yeah, my battery level is not that 100%. So first of all, thank you very much for this warm invitation. And I see the initiation that this Dr. Casey mentorship program is doing it's very nice. In itself, it's a very nice collaborative approach, a model, I must say. And it's a very nice initiation among the youth. I think the main agenda, the main presentation, the thing that I'm going to share is about how we can grow the collaboration and how can amplify growth capacity, especially from the point of view of justice. Since I'm professionally I'm an energy engineer, but I have worked a lot of in instances. For example, in Oxford, I did my dissertation in more of in energy justice point of view. So whether I was working in Nepal or when I was working in the International Atomic Energy Agency, my work involved a lot of collaborative work. So from down to a society level, a very grassroots rural level to a multilateral collaboration, I have kind of found a pattern of like a lens, a social kind of social science kind of lens. It's very interesting for me since I'm a very technical quantitative person where I have shifted to more qualitative social science things, and more often I apply energy justice, and it is very important thing to see. Let's see how we can unfold all the things that about the other SDGs, SDG 8, 10, 13, 17, including the SDGs S7 itself. I think without further ado, I will share my screen. Okay, let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Very visible.
So again, good evening, everyone, and thanks to Dr. Casey Mentorship Platform for the invitation. Uh, I'm Asim Doshi. Professionally, I'm an energy engineer and a recent graduate of University of Oxford in the MSc Energy System. I was a Weidenfeld Hoffman Scholar, which is more related to leadership uh, program at Oxford. So today I'll be sharing how collaboration and justice can amplify our collective growth capacity, drawing lessons from community energy innovations in Nepal and from international cooperation experiences. We begin by exploring how communities, knowledge, and justice can converge to drive sustainable growth. Let me begin with a story. Back in 2021, we had recently finished a project um, which was initially started in 2013, and between 2013 and 2021 there was a brief obstruction. So there was this program called Gridville, of which I was the program coordinator. This Gridville program was a joint collaboration of Kathmandu University in Nepal and Norwegian University of Science and Technology in Norway. Since you see, Nepal has a lot of hydropower potential. In fact, Nepal is 100% renewable, and 99.9% of electricity comes from hydropower, which is similar to Norway. The difference between Norway and Nepal is that Nepal faces a lot of problems with its rivers. It contains a lot of sands, which is not a case in Norway. So we had a kind of a knowledge exchange program, and we used to do things here in Nepal as well, and there in Norway as well. So there was this program, and there was this project in a very rural part of Nepal, eastern Nepal, where we had brought a clean electricity to more than 3,000 people for the first time. They were being introduced to the electricity for the first time. It was not a top-down intervention, but a co-created solution designed by local engineers, students, and community members working together to build ownership and resilience. In fact, the project success showed that youth leadership thrives when we connect local innovation with global networks of learning. Um, uh, I think the Dr. Casey Mentorships Program's mission, the youth-driven and globally connected leadership, perfectly captures this same philosophy of growth through shared action. So the project was youth-led and built on a tri-hybrid microgrid. A microgrid is a network of energy systems that contains solar, hydropower energy, solar system, wind energy, battery backup designed by a team of engineers. The main thing is that it embodied the circular economy in practice, local fabrication, community reinvestment, and training youth technicians to sustain the system. This was a living example of what I call energy with justice, energy that empowers, not just supplies. If we want to go more onto the energy justice, what I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to show the overall picture of social justice through the point of energy justice. Basically, they are same. In any kind of a justice system, there are, and forgive me if my presentation is too academic, I more or less try to be less academic, but somehow I get pushed up to my academic front. But yeah, the social or whatever kind of justice, the mainly it contains of three kind of dimensions. One being procedural justice, second being distributive justice, third being restorative or recognition justice. So a just energy system distributes the benefits and burdens of energy fairly across both present and future generations. As Sobakol and Dworkin, they are the one of the frontiers in the energy justice research. Energy justice is about accountability, equity, and sustainability that is equally translatable to any kind of other kind of justice within any in society in any sectors. So when we focus on procedural justice, we focus on fairly including marginalized voices, distributive justice, equitable sharing of infrastructure benefits, and restorative justice, repairing past and current harms. This ethical foundation helps ensure our models aren't just technically sound, but socially transformative as well. This is the very basic point of doing anything. You see, this energy justice or whatever you call it, social justice, is a very basic point, the very basic foundation through which we can start our collaboration. It's a kind of a vantage point. So again, so energy access is a key enabler of sustainable development. When we plan energy smart systems, they facilitate production, support rural sustainability, and promote low carbon urbanization. Targeted affordability measures ensures gender and social inclusion, job creation, and economic resilience. SDG 8 drives economic growth, SDG 10 levels opportunities, and SDG 11 builds resilient communities. What's crucial is to remember is that energy access isn't just a technical challenge to approach the social sciences as well through the point of the energy. Only by weaving justice into our energy strategies, we can drive truly inclusive growth, bridge the rural urban divide, and ensure fair access to sustainable sources. I believe I have seen a lot of projects in the Africa as well. Most recently, I was doing a project of Zambia. Since Zambia faced this drought, I was working on a plan of Muchinga province of Zambia. So it's a kind of a thing that we had applied in Zambia as well. This is a very nice example I always give. Energy as service. Whenever we think of energy, we think of electricity, but there are a lot of forms of electricity. If you see these two images in my screen, these are the traditional cooking technologies used in rural kitchens of Nepal. But beyond that kitchen, beyond that heating, if you see in the first picture, you can see there is a type of meat being dried, right? People. And in another picture, you can see a child is sitting near near to the that oven. He's just taking warmth of the kitchen. So the thing is that these are very traditional, uh, very polluting kind of uh, 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 cooking stoves, but they are multi-purpose. You see, it is being used to dry up the meats, also heat up the space. So what happened is that the government of Nepal, in collaboration with different funding agencies, they introduced improved cooking stoves, but they faced problems. They were not user friendly because like they had small holes but the traditional used to have big holes, and thus the bigger pots they can use, and they were only single purpose. The traditional ones used in different purposes, as I said before. So it is a part of social technical interactions. So in many rural areas, traditional cooking technologies can hinder progress. Improved stoves and energy solutions need to be user-friendly and multi-purpose, fitting into broader socio-technical interactions. Community empowerment is driven by circular economy cycles, resource circulation, skill development, benefit sharing. They use top-down approach of collaboration, which was not in any way possible. So they failed. Going to the second one, it's if you see this picture, it's in up in the Himalayas. It's around the altitude of this place is around 3,000 meters where people live. Uh, we are building hydropower there as well. The philosophy of our projects used to be circular economy in any way, and a collaboration with the local governments, because you see without the ownership, you see the collaboration with the local government is equal to giving them ownership as well, which is a very important part of sustainability. So cross collaboration is always a determinant for the sustainability. So this is a case two. This is the initial this is the story of the initial thing that I had showed to you. Gridwill showed that when communities co-own systems, they can co-own the future as well. Reinvested profits, funded education and maintenance. The place where we made that energy system, they lack water to drink, water to irrigate. A lot of people were being migrated. So what we did is that we created a kind of a cooperative kind of a organization in that village, owned by the very local people, and that energy system was operated by them. And the profit they used to get, or the electricity they used to produce, was used to pump up the water from down the river stream to up the hill, and they used to drink that water and also used to irrigate their crops. That's a very pragmatic example of circular economy. And since now they are flourishing, uh, 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 they are producing a lot of crops. Their migration has also decreased. And interestingly, it's very, you see, it is a part of women empowerment as well. I don't know in African countries or other area, but in global South, in South Asia, in those kind of households, if let's say, uh, okay, they are not using clean cooking methods, then who are in the kitchen? Of course, women are in the kitchen. So they are using very polluting kind of cooking techniques. Then women are getting affected. Let's say they don't have water in tap, then they have to bring water from a kilometers away. Then who is taking those water from those sources? Of course, women. So it's a kind of a women empowerment as well. A lot of branches can be found if we go on to discuss, but it's a very nice thing, a social effect that very simple model, a collaborative model can produce. And these were the photos with you see it's a very rural area in Nepal, and these were the community people. There is this one video I have. It's just a minute. Uh, I will play it on. How do I do it? Let me. I think anyway. Okay, it was. If you see this picture, it's a very rural area. Okay. And these grids were also constructed by us. So we made a kilometers of transmission grid. Anyway, so coming to the point, the very basic, if we go to the theory, how do we understand how the collaboration innovation can lead to a just sustainable change? There is this a transition theory called multi-level perspective, which we can use to understand how collaboration and innovation can lead to just and sustainable change, like energy evolve over time. So the basic principle is that it has got three levels. The landscape, it's a macro level. We only see that it's like a tip of the iceberg. The broad social, economic, and political context. For example, global climate goals, SDGs, policy shifts, the social movements for equity. Then we come to a meso level. It's a regime. It's a dominant institutions, rules, markets, power structures that maintain the status quo. Example, if you see centralized utilities, fossil fuel dependence, top-down governance, everything is in this meso level. And then we come to a micro level. It's a niche market or a niche level, spaces where new ideas, technologies, and collaborations emerge, often led by innovators, communities, and youth like you, the organizations like Gridville that I used to lead. So, transitions happen when niche innovations gain enough momentum through supportive policy, partnerships, and learning to challenge and eventually transform the dominant regime. The main goal is to challenge this regime. Like we always have small innovators in micro level, and we have the government, but always we have bureaucrats who are always hurdling or obstructing, for an example. So in the niche, local and community innovation, grassroots experiments like Gridville, again I said, are niche innovations, or like even this your mentorship program, it's a niche innovation, testing new technologies, new ownership models, and new values. So collaboration at this level is trust-based and participatory. Communities, students, and local governments co-create solutions. So justice here emerges through recognition and empowerment. People gain voice in shaping their energy future. And then we go to regime. It's a institutional collaboration and policy reform, national energy policies, regulations, and financial systems. They form the regime that can either enable or block transformation, as I said before. So here we need cross-sector collaboration between academia, policymakers, and private sectors. And then we go to landscape, global narratives and structural changes. Here comes the global pressures, climate commitment, SDGs, international cooperation. They form the landscape that legitimizes the transitions. So international frameworks and networks like the Weidenfeld-Hoffmann Trust, like the Dr. Casey mentorship program that you guys have started, they amplify the local innovation, the niche thing, and help diffuse just sustainable practices worldwide. So here, justice means voice at scale, ensuring that global transitions respect diversity, sovereignty, and equity. So basically, in the regime, we always have top-down approach, but when we go to more towards an equitable social technical future, this bottom-up approach underscores how actions at each level reinforce those below it, empowering users and supporting them through development agencies and market solutions, creates a strong foundation for effective regulation, while policymakers ensure coherence, resources, and enabling environment for greener transitions. This is an example. I'm like, it was a renewable energy for climate action. It was a collaboration with an organization called ICIMOD. ICIMOD is a regional organization that expands from Afghanistan to Myanmar. it constituents 8 countries. So the progress is amplified by partnerships and knowledge sharing. For instance, this program. So partnerships and knowledge sharing it is a very fundamental to SDG 17. If you see pictures, let me point out. This was again a collaboration with the EC mode. It was a renewable energy symposium that we did in Nepal, a ministerial level, again with the different organizations. This was at the Oxford Union with the Weidenfeld Hoffman Trust. This one is it's the joint IAEA and FAO laboratory in Austria, Vienna. And this was a joint meeting of Arasia. It's a Middle Eastern organization, especially for the applications of nuclear technologies. So everything boils down to knowledge sharing. So basically, the lessons from multilateral cooperation is trust and cross-border collaboration. So during my time at the International Atomic Energy Agency, I saw this principle in action. Regional programs didn't succeed because of money alone. They worked because of trust, mutual learning, and capacity exchange. Regional programs under the IEA's technical cooperation framework, where I used to work, helped countries in Asia and the Pacific strengthen their institutional capacity for energy planning, nuclear energy planning, safety, and technology deployment. These partnerships weren't only about funding or technology, they were about trust, training, and technical exchange. Believe me, more than half of the amount of money was spent on training and technical exchange. So what I learned is that capacity building is not just attraction, it's a relationship. We often take it as a few days of program. Like you can take this mentorship program like 7 days. Oh yeah, I attended and I let it go and perished away. But we have to see it more openly, how we share our expertise, how the stronger our collective resilience becomes. That it depends on our how we share our things. And the thing is, the most important thing is that trust as the hidden infrastructure. Many successful regional collaborations were not result of perfect technical plans, but of mutual confidence. Without trust, even well-funded initiatives fail to endure. With trust, even most modest collaborations can create lasting transformations. Then we come to our pathways to sustainable partnerships, global collaborations. At Oxford, I have seen how academia, policy, and community work can intersect, where research isn't just isolated but translated into policy, entrepreneurship, and civic action. The Weidenfeld Hoffman Trust ethos. I was the Weidenfeld Hoffman Trust scholar. So the ethos was that leadership through service and global collaboration mirrors what SDG 17 calls for partnerships grounded in ethics, empathy, and shared purpose. The Gridville, the program that I had initially talked about, model itself emerged from this mindset, bridging the local needs in Nepal with academic research, international dialogue, and youth-led implementation. This bridge between knowledge and community action is what transforms individual effort into collective capacity. It's how young professionals like you and me become connectors in a fragmented world. Believe me, the world is literally fragmented in many ways. By my slides, you can see I had become less and less creative. SDG 7 and youth leadership. So every young professional here has the power to multiply impact by sharing knowledge, connecting ideas, and sustaining trust across borders. That's what partnership truly means, the courage to collaborate for the common good. Young professionals like all of you and I here are not just participants. We are just we are bridge builders. We connect local insight to global framework and help translate ambition into actions. As I had presented before, the multi-level perspective. It's very important how you can use this to see everything. How we can use this very local niche insight to the very landscape of global framework and help translate that into other areas as well. The very important thing is the capability. If you have seen this thing before, the capability approach, it was introduced by Sen and Nussbaum. They were awarded Nobel Prize in economics for this as well. Capability. It depends for the just transition or for the sustainable collaboration. It is very important to know the capability of each part. So through the lens of capability approach, true collaboration expands people's real freedoms to act, not just their access to resources. So partnerships grounded in justice enhance collective agency. They let people turn opportunities into real achievements. Knowledge sharing, in turn, transforms capacity into capability. The essence of human development, I must say. So capability approach is very important. They have introduced recently the donut economics as well. It's a contrary to uh, uh, neo classical economics or neoclassical economics. It's a very contrary to that. It's a donut economics. It's very much based on the capability approach as well. It says it is basically a representation of how much resources are being used and how much is left. It's a kind of a very sustainable model. Uh, so the call to action is sustainable growth is possible when inclusion and collaboration are at the center. Justice grounds growth, and we saw that there are three types of justice: distributive, recognition, and procedural justice. If any of any one dimension of the energy justice is missed, the collaboration will collapse, the sustainability will be questioned. Communities co-create innovation, partnerships multiply capacity. So thank you all for your time and engagement. I'll leave you with one question. How can each of us turn collaboration from rhetoric into practice in our own space, in our own institutions, communities, and daily work? Because real change begins when collaboration becomes a habit, not a headline. You have to make it a habit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Ashim Joshi. We really appreciate value that you've shared with us. Personally, for me, I within collaboration with the local government is equal to giving them ownership. That really struck me. That's really a very powerful message. And also global transition, respect, diversity, equity. Thank you very much for the value that you've shared with us. As a way of appreciating Mr. Ashim Joshi, you can just share the value you've learned, any nuggets you've actually received from what you shared. You can just appreciate him and also share the nuggets you've actually picked from what Mr. Ashim Joshi has shared with us. Dekemp, is that how to appreciate what we've just received today? I just want to see the energy. When we started, it was like 100%. Energy should remain 100 or even above, right? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr.
You
Ashim.
see, the
We really
initiation that
appreciate we
you
really
have
appreciate the value
started
you
is
shared with us.
it's a part of a collaboration that you have started. So it has to go
Yeah.
through the regime and to the
Oh,
now
thank you.
nowadays I have become more social science person rather than an engineer. My
Thank you
friends
very
hate
much.
it.
Thank you very much. Really, it was really very, very impactful, and we appreciate your presence. Yeah. So up next, we're going to be inviting our mentor to appreciate Mr. Ashim Joshi for gracing today's occasion and sharing so much value with us. And as a way of appreciating you, we're going to do something. Yeah. So Dr. Casey is here?
Yes, thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Joshi Hashim, nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Casey. It's a pleasure to have you share this profound experience. I like the way you use the case study, right, to really bring home the message. So really thank you for sharing that with us. And we appreciate that you took the time. I mean, it's so late, right? And it also demonstrate how much your passion is towards supporting such communities as Dekemp. We really appreciate that. And on behalf of Dekemp, we would like to present with you this award in appreciation for sharing this remarkable presentation and speech during the Dekemp 6 celebration. Thank you very much.
Mm. Thank you very much, Dr. Kalishi. Well, don't mind if I'm pronouncing it in a wrong
You got
way.
it correct, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's as I said, collaboration. It's a collaboration. I always like to collaborate with people, and and especially since I am also from a global south, it's south to south collaboration is always what we need.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So yeah, I have learned a lot of things from the projects that I have done in Africa as well. As I
Mm-hmm.
said, in Zambia, we had a lot of projects from the agency as well in the South Africa regarding the radiopharmaceuticals. Especially, you see, nowadays, what I say is that global energy is global energy. Global politics is global energy.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, every dimensions of the society can be explored through this. I may be I may being very narrowed, so I'll because of my field, but I try to see everything with this. I hope I'm like it was not too technical.
No, I think it was a very well balanced presentation. Thank you very much. I hope you can. I think we'll be able to reach out to you then to get the presentation that we can share with the team.
Yeah, definitely. I have already said the presentation PDF to uh, Ethelbert.
Okay, that's very
Yeah.
good.
Uh,
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very nice to get connected with all of you. See you soon, or maybe next time. Maybe I will invite you guys next time.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashim Joshi. But before we wrap up, generally, just want to make the room open for at least one question, two questions.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
we felt it's very important to honor you first before
Mm.
for the questions will come in. So 1, 2 questions, and we'll wrap up today's event. Yeah. So anybody has any question from what has been shared? Any question, you can drop it in the chat box. I can help you just share it. 1, 2 questions, and we'll call it a day for today. Okay.
Mary Rose.
Okay, I think Mary Rose. Okay.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you so much, Ashim, for the presentation. There is a question I always ask. I don't know, it is linked to this because you're an energy expert. So I would want to know, and it's linked to circular economy. So the circular economy is built in such a way that everything is reusable. But when I look at use of solar panels, the batteries, and all of those stuff. So for it, when we use all of those to have renewable energy, how about when we don't have, like when they are not working, like when we have used them up to the point that we say, okay, we want to discard them. And you know that when we discard them like that, they go back to either they just throw it away or you just use it like the batteries, the solar panel, we just throw them. And that is not circular economy anymore because we are not, using that. So please can you ship in how can that be solved? Because this time I've talked about it over and over and I'm like, okay, how is this a circular economy? Thank you.
That's very interesting question, actually. Actually, I was thinking of adding one slide more, but I thought that would be very much and very boring for all of you to see a lot of lectures, I say. I try to see these things from the point of life cycle point of view. You see, the technologies, it doesn't have to be always, see, recycling that in very technical hard term, from the point of view, if you see very from the niche technical point of view of this recycling of solar panels, battery itself, there are loads of technology itself. But what I normally argue in the energy societies as well is that we have we don't have that big picture of seeing things from the point of view of life cycle. We call it life cycle assessment. We don't do life cycle assessments. So if we do life cycle assessments of the recycling technologies as well, those technologies we have are more harmful to, or they produce more global greenhouse gases than they are produced in a very virgin way. So yeah, as you said, if we don't recycle them, in a way it is not a circular economy, but we can see those things from a different point of view as well. It depends on how you describe the system. Normally when we try to picture a thing or visualize a system, we put things inside and outside, like input output. And that if you have ever seen conceptual flow diagrams, so it depends on how you really describe the system. In the system that I say it's a circular economy, I won't be integrating the recycling of those things. I'm truly seeing on, okay, I'm producing electricity from solars, and I'm using those solar electricity to pump up the water, and I'm using those uh, water to grow vegetables. I'm selling those vegetables and using that money to again buy electricity and make profit margins. So in that way, it's a kind of a circular economy. But the thing that you are saying is, of course, that would be another circular economy of very hardcore engineering level, right? We still, yeah, they do have recycling technologies, but if you don't recycle, it wouldn't be a circular economy from the point of view of very hardcore technological solar system recycling thing. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshi. We really appreciate. Next person, we'll take one person, and Ethelbert actually raised his hands. I think we will have loved to answer more questions. You can drop your questions in the chat box that will be referred to our speaker. But for now, we'll just take Ethelbert, sorry, because of time, right? So Ethelbert, please.
Gaius, we still have a bit of time, right? I think we still have up to 7 minutes.
Okay, then. All right, then. So I think we can take more persons. Yeah. So Ethelbert, over to you. Ethelbert. Okay, so let's just move to Mr. Issa.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Ethelbert, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ashim. I mean, it's interesting to see that you speak so much of language I can resonate to, right? So you're talking about energy, you're talking about sustainability, recyclability, and all those things. My question is, we are just, for me, I think the energy system is a little bit one-sided because we've not really hampered on this item of sustainability itself, right? And I was speaking to an energy um, professional. She was informing me that all of the methods of just short-term or actionable. Most of the sustainable roadmaps with regards to energy. We're talking about sustainable energies or green energy like the solar and all of those things. There's no long-term plan, right? That are being taken as we speak at the moment. So I don't know. I could be wrong, right? So the question is there or are you aware of any long-term sustainable plans with regards to the energy industry? From the
You
energy
are very
industry,
true.
because we are talking about the production of the solar. Yeah,
You
so the
are
sustainability
the
issue
thing that
is a key factor. Is there like a long road plan for that?
you see. Uh, the thing you said is very true. There is no any long-term goals. Of course, they have said, okay, I'll be net zero by 2050. Some people have said, some countries have said that they will be by 2070. They are also required to produce nationally determined contributions. They are now submitting nationally determined contribution version 3. They are legally required as part of Paris Agreement. But you see, they all fall back. If we talk about Europe, they did two mistakes. The very bad two mistakes is that they are very rich countries, but they avoided nuclear power plants. Second, they are now overly relied on Chinese solar panels. So these are the two mistakes they did. So they don't have lead time to now build nuclear power plants. Now the World Bank has also started investing on nuclear power plants. It takes 10 to 15 years at least to build nuclear power plants. So 10 to 15 years of their time is gone. And now they're already over much relied on solar panels. All the supply chain of solar panels are controlled by China. So these are the two mistakes. If we talk about Africa, a lot of investments on nuclear power plant are coming from Russia and China as well. You see nuclear power, there are two kinds of power. The problem with the solar is that they are intermittent. They cannot be produced, they cannot produce electricity when it's night. They cannot produce the amount of energy like, okay, let's say here is a peak. They cannot give the peak energy when it is needed. They are given by the coal, they are given by the other kind of thermal power plants, nuclear power plants. So in a way that you said, it's very true. In a you see, I'm like, I'm if I be very frank, I call it a Western hypocrisy. You can see now, United States, they have withdrawn the Paris Agreement. Yeah, with this, the world doesn't have that long-term goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this response. The next person will be taking Mr. Issa.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, Ashim, for the wonderful presentation. One key thing I took away from your presentation is the aspect of collaborating and giving ownership to the local people or to the local government. And then coming from Global South, I know the issues of leadership and all of that are things of concern, just like in Africa. So how best do you collaborate with local governments to see to it that the solutions or the solutions you're bringing to such communities are things that are sustainable in terms of whether it is empowerment, whether it is the technologies you bring to communities that you collaborate on? I hope the question is clear.
Thank you. I think we can take another question as well, and I will answer at once. You are mute, guys.
Okay, yeah, so sorry. Chukwebuka who asked this question. I think you can answer both questions at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hi everyone. Good evening, Mr. Ashim. Thank you so much for the presentation. My question is as regards energy sustainability, especially as it relates to solar energy. I understand that we install solar panels on one hand to produce energy that we can use, And on the other hand, for other sustainability goals, such as to reduce carbon emission and other greenhouse gas emissions and all. But I have also recently learned that in the manufacturing, or rather in the production of those solar panels, some of the activities also tend to harm the ecosystem in a way. So I would like you to speak to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. First, I'll go with the question of uh, Mr. Isa, if I'm pronouncing in the right way. That question was asked to me during my scholarship interview at Oxford, by the way. I don't know if I gave them clear answer or I confused them, or I will confuse you as well now. You see, it's very hard to collaborate in the local governments, especially in the global south, as you said. It's very true. Oh, the situation, the political situation in, be it in Latin America, be it in Africa, be it in South Asia, it's same. When you go to the local governments, it's very hard to give them the ownership. We try to give them to ownership to make them to increase their capacity. The first thing. The second thing, by doing that, we believe that it will make things sustained. But when, let's say, I have a project of $10,000, let's say a small project of $10,000, I made a system there. Okay, I'm handovering them. Okay, now you are controlling everything. You are the owner. Do whatever you do with the money. When we do that, things are not getting sustained. They do not care about how the system moves, even though they are the owner. Because the problem is that, you see, it's a very psychological, or I'm like, it's a very, very practical problem, I must say. It's beyond any. It's like, when they haven't spent anything, they are not gonna they are not gonna truly accept the ownership of those things. So what we used to do is that, okay, we are giving you 70%, you have to invest 30%, be it by your government money, or you collect it from your people. You have to invest 30%, 20%, whatever the amount you have to contribute, you have to contribute. Because that way, you see, it's a very human nature. When you invest something, you start loving it, you start liking it, you like to take ownership. That is a way. We faced a lot of political hurdles as well. So that's a very, there is a straightforward answer to that. Answer to that is that, if they are using politics, you have to use your politics. I'm like, if you have networks, you have to use it. Otherwise it will fail it. There is no any. I'm like, I don't believe any other kind of theoretical motivational thing how to get rid of those things. One special problem I found, I'm like, I was encountered with, was that there are a lot of religious groups in Nepal. In a particular group where I was working, there was Christians and there were Hindus. At last, before inaugurating the system, there was this task of naming the place. You see, it's very interesting. Now, the Hindu people propose the name of the system should be something XYZ. That XYZ was the name of Hindu god, which was, of course, was contested by the Christian people. There was a kind of a delay in the uh, operational starting date of the system. So it took a time for us to resolve that matter. You see, people in every community, people with some political vested interest are there. They try to make things hard, and you have to deal. There is a saying in Nepali, we call it "Dastalai Testai," means tit for tat. So it's a very hard way. Mr. Isa, I'm like, that what I used to do in Nepal. It's not necessarily that you can do the same thing. I'm like if I'm working, let's say I'm working in a similar project and I encountered the similar thing in, let's say, in Africa. I cannot do that thing because I don't have connections, I don't have networks. But at those times, we need collaborations. Maybe if I'm working in your community and I have a similar thing, I can collaborate with you and you can use your political networks there to things. Often, it is not necessarily that this should be some every time. I'm being very frank here. This should be very uh, legitimately uh, I'm like legally straightforward. It's an ethical dilemma. We say in the modern philosophy they call it ethical dilemma. And the second question regarding the greenhouse gas emissions from the solar systems and it's yeah, that's true. As I said before, we have to see it from the life cycle point of view. If I give you an example, I'll give you an analogy. I give you an analogy of electric vehicles. The per kilogram emissions of vehicle manufactured, both electric vehicle and non-electric vehicles are almost same. I have my published paper back in 2022 as well, that they are almost same. The only difference is that electric vehicle do not produce exhaust emission while diesel petrol vehicle produce exhaust emissions. But again, there is a catch, as you said, how the electricity is coming to that car. If we are producing electricity from the renewable sources like hydropower and things, of course they are clean. But if they are coming from the coal thermal power plants, they are not clean. They are not deemed to be clean. That's the well, that's how the capitalistic market runs. That's the selling point of them, like electric vehicles are. See, if you say let's get let's go, if we go to the state of one of the states of India which is overly run by coal, it's not clean. Like it is one of the highest carbon footprint in that one of the states in India. So this is the same thing with the batteries. We produce it needs a lot of lithium anode, cathode, a lot of cathodes, a lot of materials that needs to be extracted, that needs to be processed, that is very energy intensive, and in turns that needs energy from other source. So it's a kind of a circle, full circle of thing. If we cannot, so it depends on whether you like a thief which has looted 10 million and there is a thief which has looted 5 million. Of course, you have to, if you have two options, you have to choose 5 million one. So it's that kind of situation, more or less, loosely in a nutshell. So for now, beyond solar, we don't have other options like other things that we currently have are more carbon intensive than the solar itself. If we compare from the life cycle point of view, if we do the whole life cycle assessment, the collective uh, greenhouse gas emission that happens will be still lesser from solar panels. So in that way, it is safe. It's a safe bet. I hope I answered your question. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashim Joshi. Really appreciate the response to all the questions that really raised. Yeah, so while we finalize today's session, we're going to be sharing tomorrow's, yeah, I would say schedule also. And yes, tomorrow is actually the grand finale, and we'll be having our mentor to be gracing the stage. Please do well to tell somebody, you know, so that we have a full house, hopefully tomorrow, because it promises to be a whole lot. Still talking about the team rooted for results, building youth power through consistent action. It's going to be a value-packed session. We've been experiencing more of value upon value upon value, and tomorrow will be more like the icing on the cake. So please and please tell somebody to tell someone that tomorrow is going to be epic. Yeah. Once again, my name is Gaio Spala, and it's really been a pleasure to moderate today's event. And I hope that you really learned a lot. I hope that you got value from all that was shared today. And please, if you actually have learned something, share with somebody that was not here, or you can actually share to the group for someone that's not written it in his journal so that they have it. Yes, and I think with that, that is all for what we have today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a blast.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. For Campites, please, the link is going to be closed in 5 minutes. So Gaius or somebody needs to stay on the call. This link would close in 5 minutes. No new attendance, right? Please, nobody should.
Noted, look.
Yeah, please, no new attendance. You also need to stop recording.
All right.